yellow line. That yellow line represents that tunnel behind us. We ended up right in here. So approximately 537 feet below the Earth's surface in this part of the world, there are 4 parallel diversion tunnels. There are 2 in the Nevada Canyon Wallside River, and there are 2 in the Arizona Canyon Wallside River. We are in the inner Nevada diversion tunnel. So all these tunnels are 5 stories tall. It doesn't seem like it, but this building is sitting on top of a 30-foot diameter penstock pipe. That pipe just took a sneak peek out to that left window. Is 3 stories tall. It's bringing water from the lake in that direction, making its way underneath this building towards the parkland to your left. So if that's 30 feet, then we have another 20 feet of clearance to the top. So that's about 5 stories tall. And again, we're in the center of this 1 mile long tunnel. So back in the 1930s, when they decided to build the Hoover Dam right here between the Black Canyon walls and the Colorado River, before they could start construction in this project, they had to get rid of something temporarily. And you guessed it, it was the Colorado River. Because you cannot build a dam in the middle of a raging river. So the plan was to go upstream about a half a mile from where the dam stands today, big spots against the Black Canyon walls in Nevada, Arizona, roughly 12 feet higher than the river's edge, and then by using nearly 5 million pounds of dynamite, started blasting these big diversion tunnels. 2 of these tunnels went into the Nevada Canyon wall side, 2 went into the Arizona Canyon wall side river. They went into the rocks, stayed in the rocks for about 4,000 feet, then out downstream. And the idea was to re-divert the Colorado River into these diversion tunnels to move that water around the construction site so we can get it dry so we can build this dam. But how do you do that when the natural flow of the river continues between the canyon walls? Well, the answer were cofferdams. And you saw those in the movie Upstairs, but they actually had 2 cofferdams on site. They had a 100 feet tall upper cofferdam constructed just behind the entrances to the diversion tunnels, and they had a 60 feet tall lower cofferdam downstream. Now, cofferdams consist of rock, dirt, chunks of concrete, where they were piled high enough and thick enough and spanned the entire width of the Colorado River. Then, as the river is flowed from north to south, it would bounce off of it and be naturally redirected into the nearest open diversion tunnel to move that water around the construction site. That lower cofferdam, its only job really was to prevent any backwash or backflow of the Colorado River from reaching the site as well. Then they went back to where the Hoover Dam stands today, and a 16-ton bucket of concrete, or an 8 cubic yard bucket of concrete, was then delivered every 78 seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop for 2 straight years, day and night, till they built the dam. After all said and done, that was 6.6 million tons of solid concrete. Or there's enough concrete today at Hoover Dam to build a 2-lane highway from San Francisco to New York City. Now, once the dam was finished, they went back upstream and they closed each of the diversion tunnels. Once they did that, the river flowing from north to south is bouncing off the cofferdam, but can no longer go into the diversion tunnel. So the river had no choice but to eventually come up and over the cofferdam and started filling Lake Mead. And that took about 6.5 years to completely fill, from 1935 to 1941. And today, Lake Mead still remains the largest man-made reservoir in the United States. At the same time Lake Mead was filling up, the workers came from the backsides of these diversion tunnels in trains pulling concrete mixes. And they proceeded about halfway to all the tunnels and they installed what we now call these diversion tunnel plugs. A diversion tunnel plug is a 405 feet thick concrete plug. Once installed, water will never ever pass through them again. So from 1935 and forever, the first half of these diversion tunnels are completely sealed and under about 500 feet of water inside the lake today. However, the latter halves of these diversion tunnels, just past the plugs, and we're not affected by the plugs, are still in use. The 2 on the outside are linked with these massive spillways, which is the Nevada or Arizona spillway. You'll see them when you're walking on top of the dam today. They are our safety mechanisms in case of flooding. If there's ever a time there's too much water in the lake, and that happened in 1941 and 83, water will overflow from the lake into the spillways, just like this picture from 1983 showing the Nevada spillway, and that water will continue down a 600-foot concrete tube to reconnect with that existing diversion tunnel down below on the other side that was not affected by the flood, and that water will shoot past the dam for the safety of the parkland. The 2 inner diversion tunnels are linked with intake towers. The intake towers are those 4 big concrete structures that you'll see when you're on top of the dam looking towards the lake today. They are our safety mechanisms for water. If water has to come through the power plant, they will be pulled in from the bottom of these intake towers, and that water is actively moving right now from the lake down to the power plant to spin the turbines to make electricity. And that's the only way water can make it down to the power plant. It will never come over the top of the dam. All right? And if you forgot what I said when we first came in, that is this big pipe underneath this. This is the pipe coming from the intake towers from your right, making its way to the power plant to the left. That rumbling is the field of water flowing right now about, I'd say, 30, 40,000 gallons a second. So we'll definitely see some generators running upstairs. All right, so follow me this way. Let's go to the power plant.